the southern part of the map actually is for the player on the northern position. It's a very interesting map, I must say. And sending out an SCV right now, yeah, you have to see if you can get a scout in of any kind. But I think because Lucky Fool has not seen any kind of harass in the form of a Dark Templar or maybe even High Templar, he knows that Yaq didn't continue with this type of strategy. Putting up his fourth factory right now. Yaq actually, interestingly, putting up his dragoons here. One thing is that this little opening here on the map only allows smaller units to get past. So no siege tanks. I don't even think vultures. No vultures neither can get through this hole. So actually, putting the dragoons up here actually prevents is some kind of a contain out. But as you can see, Lucky Fool actually is macroing up like a crazy man. And okay, so well, both players right now are macroing up right now. We have to see. Oh, actually, this is a two base carry attack from Yaq, and Yaq, knowing that he was behind, he thought he had to do something, and he went for this. It's a kind of a crazy strategy because definitely Lucky Fool probably won't be expecting this, and I'm looking for some kind of academy. Yeah, okay, so Lucky Fool actually building academy right now to get some scanners out, and he will be able to most likely to scan this. And this right now, this is some kind of transition that Yaq is going through. If Lucky Fool scouts this in time, he will be pushing out, because he knows that during this transition of dragoons to carriers, the Protoss is very weak. But if he doesn't scout this on time, and if Yaq actually manages to get a good amount of carriers, the critical mass of carriers, it will be very hard for Lucky Fool to do anything against it. And he hasn't built up an army yet either. No, so Lucky Fool actually, but Lucky Fool right now is pushing out, and with ease he can get rid of the contain of Lucky Fool and pushing the dragoons back, and all those dragoons will be destroyed, as you see, laying mines around the dragoons. And right now, this is the only force that Yaq has right now. Yaq is in dire straits, because when Lucky Fool is knocking on his base, and by the way, something else on this map, the Terran can put up siege tanks right on the position here on the north of this natural expo, and we'll be able to siege the natural expansion of Yaq. Yaq actually has a very, very small force right now, and Lucky Fool exactly opts to do this, and he already shells the expansion of Yaq, and Yaq is right now in a very bad position. But Yaq actually already has two carriers out, and two other carriers right now are coming in, and Lucky Fool still has no idea this is happening. But Yaq only has one expansion carriers. But by no way you will have the resources to put up with all the interceptor production and all the other carrier production. So trying to put up a couple of turrets. Turrets won't do the job though against two carriers, and we have to see if. Yeah, so exactly. So Lucky Fool finally spawning this, putting up his army, but a little bit too late. And if Yaq is very good with his micro, he might be able to pick off a lot of the forces of Lucky Fool. And Lucky Fool right now, indeed, so trying to push out against that dragoon force, and Yaq has to pull out of his dragoons, and the carriers have to help the dragoons to destroy the siege tanks of Lucky Fool. Otherwise, the siege tanks will slowly but certainly roll. Oh, and actually, Lucky Fool again retreating his tank, because he still hasn't destroyed the natural expansion of Yaq. And I'm not sure, to be honest, if you actually can siege the Nexus from this position. I think you can actually, especially with scans, or maybe a floating building, you will be able to siege it. But Lucky Fool, again, not opting to do this, and actually putting out another expansion. And right now, Yaq is in a very, very bad position, in my opinion. So upgrading the weapons right now, and putting down his 6th factory. So Lucky Fool is macroing up very contently, and Yaq actually has to do. Finally got his fourth carriers out, and he has to do something with his carriers. He has to destroy the forces of Lucky Fool to get back into this game in any way, because he's economically behind by a long shot right now. But he has made, in my opinion, the transfer to carriers very successfully, because he barely got any kind of harassment on his natural expansion. He only got a couple of probe skill, but I think still, yeah, the probe saturation of Yaq is very well. And indeed, so Lucky Fool retreating his tank force and just getting all of his turrets destroyed, but it's not really a big of an issue. But he has only got five Goliaths out, and he has really to build more Goliaths. Okay, so he has more Goliaths streaming out right now out of his bases, and he's producing a lot more Goliaths out of his factories. But 5 Goliaths against 4 carriers is not a fair matchup. But actually getting his carriers out on the open, and what you want as when you're using carriers, you want to make use of a lot of the latches, so that your opponent doesn't have line of sight on your carriers and cannot easily focus. And actually getting one of his carriers destroyed very sloppily, I must say, by Yaq. But having a decent micro on the Goliaths, but still four Goliaths out, and the Goliaths will keep streaming in, especially with the third expansion. But the first expansion is not running right now. But Yaq neither has put up his third expansion. Some vultures right here just camping out to prevent Yaq from getting another easy expansion. This is a minimum only, by the way, and 2 gas carriers will not be able to sustain a carrier production for the entire duration of the time. Sorry guys, I have to drink something. My throat is a little bit sore right now, because the game immediately started, and it's a very exciting game indeed. Both these players obviously are not Koreans pro gamers, but this certainly does not mean that they're not dedicated to win this game, because they have to play for the team. And it's just, by the way, this is the best out of 3 system, which both the teams will have to win 3 matches for their team to win. First you will see 1 versus 1, then you will see 2 versus 2, and then again you will see 2 1 versus 1 games, like the old setup of the pro game, of the pro league. But this is certainly not. Don't expect these players to easily hand out of the victory, because this is a coveted prize, the Soccer season. And finally, Yaq actually having a decent amount of the runes out, finally engaging the